Last night before I was going to bed, I don't eavesdrop on my kids. I don't, that's not something that I do. But last night I just happened to be walking past my son's door and he was in a conversation with someone, right? And I guess he was giving advice. And the thing was that the advice that he was giving to his friend sounded so familiar. And I stopped for a minute because I'm listening, right? I'm like, man, he's giving some sound advice. And then it hit me. He was telling a friend something that I had talked about with him before. And in that moment, I just felt great. Just really felt great because see, here's the thing. A lot of times we watch the news, we see all of the stuff that's going on in the world with the kids. And part of the problem, we always say, man, these kids is out of control, man. These kids is something else and blah, 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 blah. But a lot of the problem starts in the home. It starts from the home because what are they seeing? I remember I had a conversation, this was years ago when I was in school, and a person was telling me about their home life. And they was just telling me about how like it was just so chaotic in the home. Like it was organized chaos. And I say organized chaos because after a while, when things are repetitive, it just becomes reality. And so a lot of times they would come to my house and they would be like, man, I love coming up over here. And I used to just be like, why? Because I like going over your spot because it was free. You know what I mean? Like it was free. Like it was just felt like there was no rules. But the thing was that when they would come to my house, it was structure. They would come to my house and it was love. They would watch my grandparents and they would want that type of environment. But I was wanting that environment because they could talk how they want to talk. It was just no rules. And I'm saying all of that to say that everybody wants structure. Everybody wants some form of, because see, structure is a form of love. And I remember once I got older, now I'm in my, 20s, and those same friends, we would have conversations and they would just tell me stuff. They'd be like, man, you had it good, man. You had your grandparents and this, that, and other, whatever. And I'm looking at them like, but you got to do whatever you wanted to do. You got to spend a night at other people's houses and this, that, and the other. And I couldn't spend a night nowhere. That was just a rule. My grandfather would say, I can't control what goes on in somebody else's house, but I can control what happens in mine. So everybody was more than welcome to come to our house. And I could go to people's house, I just couldn't stay the night. But I didn't realize how my friends, I thought that it was a shortcoming of mine. Like I thought that like, because I couldn't stay the night at people's house, I thought that like, they was looking at me like, crazy. But they really was looking at me like, man, his grandparents love him. And I say that to say, we are worried about what these kids are doing, but what are these kids seeing in the home? Like I had people tell me that they never seen any form of affection from their parents. I've had people to this day when I'm having conversations with them and we'll be talking and they'll be like, the reason why I act like this is because, this is what I saw. And then I look back over my life and I think about the times that I got it wrong. See, you can be wrong so long that you're right. And I say that all the time because that's what my grandfather used to say. But it's true. How you treat the person that you with sometimes is going to be a direct reflection on how you treat. You see, a lot of times, as a parent, you are as the say as I do. I mean, just you do what I say, but I ain't doing what I say, but you do what I say because you're supposed to do because you're a child. But nowadays, these kids is different. It's a different time. So these kids is like, hey, you telling me I need to treat people right, but look how you treating my daddy. Look how you treating my mother. You telling me that I need to go into the world and be a better person, but I'm watching you at home. I'm seeing levels of disrespect. So now I'm going into the world and I'm thinking that this disrespect is normal. I'm thinking it's normal. How you gonna tell me that I'm wrong for treating this person like that? But every day that I come into my own home, I see you doing it. But you don't really realize that you're doing it because it's organized chaos. Here's the moral of this story. The change that you want to see in this world starts from the change that you directly can affect, and that's your home. That's your home life. You walking around with people every day that their home life is jacked up. I tell people this all the time. How you treat your people, I should expect nothing more or nothing less from you. If you treating your people crazy, how I expect you to treat me a certain type of way? Yeah, you might do it for a short period of time, but it's going to come about you. I used to envy people that could go through life just ignoring people and being like, oh, this, that, and that. I used to envy that because I couldn't do that. Like I really just couldn't do that. Now, if you do something to me that causes a disconnect, I'm able to just be like, all right, I'm done with the situation, but I never have hatred. I never go out of my way to prove my hatred for someone. I just never was like that. But I used to envy people that are able to do that. Then you start having kids, you start living life, and you start understanding that your kids are a byproduct of you. See, you will become the very thing that you hate. Sometimes you might have come from a situation to where, might not have been the best situation, and you spend your life running for something that is not running after you. So now you sit up here and you tell these people these stories about, your parents. Oh, my parents was this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, blah. See, that's why this, that, and other, right? But let me tell you where you mess up at. So you're blaming something, and now you like, that's why I let my kids do whatever that they want to do because my parents was this, that, and the other for me. You sitting up there trying to prove yourself. You trying to prove to the 8-year-old you, to the 15-year-old you, something that is not chasing you anymore. It's not chasing you no more. So you all messed up in the game, but you're not understanding that the very thing that you hate, you have become. You sit up there. I remember I had a conversation with someone and they was telling me about something, about someone else. And they was like, this person, they don't get it. They just don't get it. They, what I'm saying, you can't tell them nothing. And what I'm saying, they blah, 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 blah. And they don't want nothing more in life. And I'm sitting up there looking at them like, that's you. You are explaining yourself, but you don't see it because you have become the very thing that you hate. But you are so not self-aware that you're sitting up here saying, well, this is what happened to me. This is how this person treated me. And you are so hurt about that now that hurt has turned into a hatred. And that hatred has consumed you, and you are the very same thing. I listened to this person describe like everything wrong about this person, and I'm just sitting up here like, you describing yourself, maybe not the same thing, but the meat of it is the same. So anyways, y'all have a blessed day out there, man. I just really wanted to share this because a lot of people going out wrong. I heard my son giving advice that I sat back and I was just like, yo, this dude is preaching until I realized that it was something that I had said. A lot of times you don't think your kids is listening, but they listening. A lot of times you don't think the kids is watching, but they watching. So think that ignoring someone and talking around someone, you think that stuff is cool because that makes you feel good in that moment. Man, but what you're producing in this world, these offsprings, these kids, they are going into the world and they are taking those attributes into the world. Y'all have a blessed day.